So, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Coach Eugene Lewis.
Hey, what's going on, Joey? What's going on, Joe?
What's up, G?
What's the word?
You out early tonight?
No, actually, I'm still in practice. I'm just stepping out. I got my team captain this next segment of the practice, so I'm actually got a few minutes to be able to get on the call on this particular topic we're talking about tonight.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. So you got a few minutes, so let's jump right into it. All right. In the state of California, Governor Gavin Newsome has signed a bill that would allow NCAA athletes to be paid. All right. I am reading from the New York Times. Governor Gavin Newsome signed a bill to allow college athletes to hire agents and make money from endorsements. The measure is the first of its kind. It threatens the business model of college sports. It has been a bedrock, and again, this article is by Alan Blinder of the New York Times. It has been a bedrock principle behind college sports. Students, athletes should not be paid beyond the cost of attending university. California threatened that standard on Monday after Governor Newsome signed a bill to allow players to strike endorsement deals and hire agents. What do you know, Joe?
Today is momentous day. That's what I know. And this is one of those days in history. I don't know if people are really paying attention to it, but for the last 100-something years, the NCAA has dominated everybody's pockets. They exploit your children by giving them a scholarship, but make millions off of them forever and ever. Kids that come in top-notch athletes, but don't even make it in the big leagues. We're talking about people who've been that might have taken a little bit of money, were accused of certain things. They have FBI probes and all these other things, people being prosecuted. And so today is a big deal because, Governor Gavin Newsome, I got to give him credit. He had the intestinal fortitude to take that paperwork to LeBron's show, The Shop, and sign the paperwork there live, this bill.
Wow.
To make it happen.
That's ironic.
Really, yes. And not only that, there were a bunch of other people that were there. Diana Taurasi was there. Ed O'Bannon was there because you remember he had that lawsuit with the video game.
They're going to break that. They're going to break that system down.
Man, it's going to start. And so the thing that's impactful about this, it now hands guys their ability to make money for their family. Like mom and them ain't got to live in the hood no more.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can get the best of the best nutritionists, trainers, cooks,
insurance.
I think it's also the thing that's being missed is it will make the college game better, in my opinion, because guys don't have to go rushing to try to make a check in the NBA.
That's very true.
You can stay a little bit longer.
That's very true.
If you get hurt, it's no big deal. Okay, I tore ACL. You can get that taken care of, get back on the field again. It also prepares guys, like LeBron was saying, for the next level, so you understand the business side of it. It's just a really momentous day because it also is going to change the landscape of sports as we know it, because all your big players go to the SEC for football.
So this is just California. Everybody's going to run to the Pac-12.
That's exactly what's going to happen.
Okay, so reading further, under the California measure, thousands of student athletes in America, most populous state, will be allowed to promote products and companies trading on their sports renown for the first time. And although the law applies only to California, it sets up the possibility that leaders in college sports will eventually have to choose between changing the rules for athletes nationwide or barring some of America's sports powerhouses from competition. And now they're talking about the California schools.
Yeah.
And away from the sports end, just on the cultural end, on the politics end, California is renowned for being the tester state.
Yeah.
They're always the first ones to jump out and do something. Right?
Yeah.
Always. Whatever it is, marijuana, this, that, whatever it is.
Yeah.
California is known for being willing to try different things. Because truth be told, California, if it weren't part of the United States, would be one of the most populous countries in the world.
Right.
Okay, so Gene, what do you think?
Well, I'm actually really happy with Gavin
I'm
Newsome
not
actually
hearing him.
going ahead. And
I hear him.
can you hear me?
I
Can
hear
hear me
you,
now?
Gene.
Okay, yeah. So I'm just really glad that Gavin has actually took the stand to be the trendsetter for America. On this whole SB 206. Can you hear me?
Go ahead, Gene. I hear you.
Okay. So with the SB 206, I mean, like Joe so eloquently articulated, it's really huge for college sports and for the athletes, especially regardless of sports. You look at the Michigan Wolverines. Think about it: Jalen Rose, Weber, Juwan Howard, and the Ray Jacksons, and that Fab Five team. If they had an opportunity to be able to make money off their, think about all the millions of dollars that University of Michigan made off of those guys when they won. Well, not when they won, but when they actually made it to the Final Four.
Yeah.
2 years in a row.
Yep.
And still touted as one of the greatest basketball teams there ever was. Think about the old Florida Gators teams led by Billy Donovan, the Joakim Noahs, the Al Horfords. Oh my goodness, they had so many great players on that team. If they actually had an opportunity to be able to market themselves, having won 2 national titles, national championship titles back to back. I say all that to say this is that with college sports being a billion-dollar industry, you can't ignore it anymore. Something had to be done. You were starting to see a development of a slave mentality. And what I mean by that is where you have the powers that be that control the rules and regulations of an organization to set it so that they benefit from it. So they're able to monetize it, be able to get the gains they're trying to get from the use of these college athletes, all at the expense of a college education. It's like almost saying, well, that because I give you a hot meal and a cot, then that should be enough, even though I'm making millions and millions of dollars off of you. And so this is going to change the college sports landscape. I'm really excited about it. I think what's going to happen is that all the states are going to have to do something, or else you're right. I mean,
left behind.
You're going to get left behind. I mean, California is basically saying, hey, we're going to be the ones who are going to benchmark this. We're going to take a stand and to do what's right. I love the fact that it's going to economically be able to help kids from less who are less fortunate, who come from very challenging situations. I think economically, it's a really huge opportunity for the Black community, especially given the fact of our athletic prowess to step on the field and on the basketball court, and as well as on the baseball diamond, to have an opportunity to make the kind of money that's going to be able to help their families. So it's huge.
Now get this: the NCAA makes about $14 billion
a year.
Yeah,
per year.
$14 billion per year. And it was funny that when this information came out and the bill was signed, the NCAA released a statement saying that the law is creating confusion for current and future athletes.
Yeah.
And it said they acknowledge improvements do need to be made, but they think the improvements should be made by the NCAA and their rulemaking process.
You've had multiple opportunities
to
fix the system.
It wasn't going to happen.
You didn't want to fix it with Ed O'Bannon. You didn't want to fix it with this guy. You didn't want to fix it with that guy. You try to take little incremental steps that benefit you. So here's the thing, right, about making massive wealth in the history of the world. It's a chase for free labor.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because labor is the biggest obstacle to huge wealth.
Right.
So any business that you open, you automatically going to lose 30, 40, 50, 60, 70% of revenue based on paying for labor.
Right.
So when you can not pay for labor, you grow like the NCAA has. All right? What's going to be interesting about this is when you get into the southern states that depend on college football, right? And now you're talking about players going to the Pac-12.
They should have signed a bill yesterday.
You know what I mean?
That's what is going to happen
right
in the southern
there,
state.
regardless of their political leanings, regardless of what they want to do or whatever they want to portray or whatever system they want to maintain, it's going to break down because they will not sacrifice Alabama football for this.
Yeah. Yeah, they're gonna try to hold out. They're gonna try to hold out as long as they can. Just like the Pac-12 said, they're disappointed that the bill was passed.
Well, Joey, if I can comment on that, though, I think you make an excellent point. I mean, you're right. I live in the South. I live in Alabama, and I can tell you that this is being even talked about. I mean, by the coffee, by the coffee cup in the morning. I mean, by the coffee machine in the morning. You know, these people are already having these conversations as to what's going to happen, to college football. And here in the South, as they always say, it's football and God.
Right.
God first, then football. So when it comes to football, don't play around. And so I really believe that California, all they did was just open the door for other states to actually pass similar laws so that players can get paid and be able to make money off their likeness as well.
Right.
The problem is there's too much of the pie that's not being accessed by the actual people who are generating the revenue. Right? So you have a very small percentage that's being given to the actual student athlete. You're talking about less than 5%. College athletes get a stipend each semester. Well, I did a little research. It also depends on how big the program is. So at Alabama, and I don't know what the allotment is per semester, but let's just say hypothetically it's $5,000. But it doesn't mean that a player at Appalachian State is going to get a stipend for playing, $4 or $25, $5,000 for that semester. It could be like $100 to $2,000 or maybe nothing at all. So I think with this particular bill, where a player is actually able to make money off of their own brand, their own image, their own likeness, it gives them other opportunities, other avenues to be able to generate income for themselves.
Now here's one part of that though that I haven't seen an answer to that may be out there. Are they allowed to get a job? Because that's the gray area that the NCAA has always feared. So Division I scholarship athletes are not allowed to work. Reason being, they come and they work at my car wash, and I'm going to pay them $150,000 a year.
They're not going to care about
because
working.
I'm a booster.
It's
not a real job, but that's the gray area.
I don't think that'll be a problem.
Joey, I don't know though. I don't think it's a problem either because we know recently there was a player who just got drafted into the NBA this last year who did an internship with New Balance, right?
Right.
So internships is a part of the curriculum for a lot of colleges and universities, especially if you're in the business department. I teach.
Right, but they don't let the athletes.
So.
They don't let the athletes do it.
Yeah, you can't.
Scholarship athletes are not allowed to work.
Which is a point that me and Eugene had discussed earlier. As an athlete, you're the only person in school that cannot monetize your situation.
Right.
And not just work, but like even get a sponsor.
Right.
Now for me, it's just I was a science major.
Right.
I can have my own YouTube channel.
You're right.
Somebody can pay, NASA could pay me, put money in my pocket.
But even there, look at a piano prodigy.
Right.
A piano prodigy, freshman at Stanford, on a scholarship even, in the music department.
Yeah.
You think that person can't go out and play for money?
He's getting paid.
Can't go tutor and teach for money?
Can't do a thing. Right. And so that's why I say this is a completely unfair system.
Right.
I mean,
only affects the athletes.
Yeah. And I can't understand why.
And only affects the basketball, football, and baseball athletes, really, because I believe a lot of the other athletes might be able to work.
Yeah, now I think the NCAA was also kind of standing behind the Title IX thing to try to make it seem like it's so difficult to make it work where we can have parity and pay everybody, women and men and everything. Now it's completely bypassed. If you play badminton and you can't get Nike to sign you, then it just sucks to be you. Right? But for the guy that is selling the jerseys and filling the stadium, he's going to get what's due him. It's great.
Right.
I love this.
Right. It's a good way to look at it. Sell your endorsements. But again, the gray area. I can go to a booster if I'm a guy and Alabama is recruiting me, Auburn is recruiting me, Florida is recruiting me. The calls are not going to necessarily be coming now from the coaches. They're going to be coming from potential employers.
Right.
Meaning the car wash owner or whoever who is saying, hey, come to Alabama, this is a $300,000 a year job. Hey, come to the University of Florida, this is a $500,000 a year job.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the schools, I know the schools hate it.
Right.
I know the NCAA hates
Yeah,
it
that's
because
gonna
there's
be-
no longer all the
Yeah.
money was coming to their hand, and it
Right,
was up to them
right.
if they were going to distribute a
Yeah.
dime of it.
No, like seriously, if I'm a booster and I own a good business,
It's over.
I can pay a recruit whatever, 400, 500, whatever, to come
Wear
work
my
for
apparel
me,
off the field.
or just do commercial spots. I just want you to do 15 commercials this year, and you're gonna get 50,000 each. Sign with Alabama.
Do you know the deals that could come to you? Upstart companies are saying, "Look, I'll give you 50% stake in my company."
Yes,
If
yes.
you just, you can have a pizza company.
Yes.
Put your name on it. Joey D's Pizza.
Right. Well, if you want to talk about the top recruits whose names have already been in circulation for a couple of years and
Yeah.
they have some buzz,
Yeah.
some cachet behind their name,
Yeah.
they can definitely make it big pretty quick.
I think that's great.
Yeah.
I think it's great.
Well, economically, it just changes the balance of power, which needs to happen anyway in America. I think people as a whole are getting tired of the current system where you have a small group of people who are benefiting from the larger amount of people who are actually doing the work or providing the service. So it had to be kind of spread that out some. So I am grateful for that. I'm glad that the SB 206 was signed. I'm really glad that Gavin, the California governor, went ahead and signed that and be the front runner for that particular for the student athletes. So,
But the
really
other thing
exciting
is,
stuff.
like, you look at like LaMelo Ball, he's doing it now, essentially.
Right.
And
Right.
so I think that's just a great thing. Regardless if it's 1, 2, 3, 10 million, 50 million, it doesn't make a difference. I think that you should be able to monetize your situation. You shouldn't have to go back to your school like Diana Taurasi said. She goes back to her school, her jersey's hanging. The only reason people are buying that number jersey is because of her. Her name's not on it.
Right.
But we all know what it's
We all
about.
know what it is.
Forever and ever it's like that.
Right.
And so it's not
No one
cool.
else is allowed to wear the jersey.
No. It's yours. It's retired.
Right.
Right? But they're making money off your number.
Right.
It's just not right.
Right.
So the jig is up. And like I said, 2023 is supposed to be the date that it will go into effect for California. They anticipate a legal battle. But like I was telling somebody, I really think that a lot of states are going to get on board with this, and it's going to be so
Now, I'm
many
trying to
tentacles.
think of what class that is. 2023. So those are freshmen this year.
Mm-hmm.
So the next recruiting class is thinking about what they can get paid as juniors.
Right. Right. Depending on the sport and how good you are.
Right. All right.